This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. If you're in crisis, please call 988 immediately. To schedule an appointment with Spectrum Health, please call 716-539-5500.
Welcome to Spectrum Health Journey, a casual and comfortable conversation about behavioral health and wellness, presented by Spectrum Health. Here are your hosts, Melanie White, licensed mental health counselor, and Bob Stahura.
And welcome to another episode of Spectrum Health's Journey. I'm Bob Stahura, along with the lovely Melanie White.
Hello, Bob.
Always
Hello.
good to see you.
Thank you.
I want to jump right into our special guest. This is our your second time here, which is lovely. JoAnn Falletta from the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra. Welcome once again to our podcast.
Back.
Well, thank you, Melanie and Bob. Thank you. I'm delighted to return and see you again.
So before we get into our discussions, there's a couple of things that I want to get into with you. I find it funny that in Wikipedia, they refer to you as an American conductor and a music director. But you are far more than that. Here's the real list. You're a multiple Grammy Award-winning conductor, music director of the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra, music director laureate of the Virginia Symphony, and conductor laureate of the Hawaii Symphony. And you have been listed as one of Gramophone's 50 great conductors.
Wow.
Come on.
Wow. I don't know.
when it sounds like that.
I feel just like I've been a very lucky girl. Can I say that?
You have.
I had a dream when I was 11, and I've been able to make music with the best musicians like the Buffalo Philharmonic. They're incredible.
Well, we were at the this last Saturday's performance, and the pre-talk. These guys were so real. I loved the one, the pianist, Adam.
Yes.
He said, he was talking about Grieg. He told the story about how he was thinking about Grieg, and he hadn't played him since he was like 11. Like if you can imagine someone playing Grieg when they're 11 years old. And he hadn't played it, and he thought about it, and that was the day you emailed him and said, could you do Grieg in November of 2025?
Well, he and I must have something because at another point this year, I called him to invite him to be my soloist in Hawaii. And he said, JoAnn, this morning I was talking to my wife about, wouldn't it be great if we could go to Hawaii? I said, so somehow we're on some kind of wavelength. But he's been here before, too. He's a fantastic pianist.
It was amazing. And the conductor as well was
yeah,
phenomenal.
He's very good.
You have a new poetry book called Love Letters to Music. So we add to your list of accolades as author.
Well, I'm going to tell you the story of this book because I don't consider myself a poet at all. I mean, I love to write, but I don't consider myself a poet. That's a special calling. But I wanted to keep a kind of diary when I started to conduct a lot, and I never had kept a diary. I don't know about you, but did you, Melanie? Did you?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
With the little gold lock on it.
Oh.
And the key. And have no clue where it's at.
I should have had one of those because I thought at a certain point, why didn't I keep a diary? But then I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to write. When I'm really moved by a piece, I'm going to write a poem about it, and it'll just be my diary. Mm-hmm. So all of this is really my diary of a piece, a musician, something that really happened in my life. And a friend of mine said, he knew I was writing little things, and he said, maybe it would help people understand what music means if you let them read one or two. And I did, and they did. They were able to see into a window of what the music meant, and I thought, okay, at some point I'm going to let other people see them. So it's a single book of my experiences.
It's a great collection, and I read it. I read it over the weekend, and I found it intriguing that after many of them you notate a certain piece of music. And what was the correlation to what you wrote and then the musical piece that you identify with it?
Well, it was because that poem was inspired by that piece of music. Either I was conducting that piece of music, or I was, in some cases, sitting in an audience listening to that piece of music. That specific piece made me think of those words.
Interestingly, don't get angry with me, but I earmarked probably about 6 pieces, and when I went back to make notes on them, none of them were the ones that were notated with music. They were all your real stories of
life stories, maybe.
Stories,
Yeah.
like the musicians. They come in all shapes and sizes, wrinkles and rumples. Because I've had the privilege of sitting in on some of your rehearsals. And they come in their sweatshirts, and
That's
and,
right.
and
Just coming to
sometimes
work.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they do their thing, and then they show up on performance day, and they have their black ties, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful transformation to see them go from what they do. Maybe to them, some of this is mundane because they do it, and they're professionals, and this is their passion. But it's a job, it's work, but then it's glorious.
It is. It is. Thank you for understanding that, Bob. That makes me feel so good because, yes, I mean, they've trained all their lives for this job and they do it very well. But in the end, when they're playing the music, they go back to the heart of like, why am I doing this? Because I love it. And a lot of them take so much joy from the music, and I think it keeps them healthy too.
Mm-hmm. This is a great book, and people should seek it out. I know they sell it at Kleinhans during all the BPO performances. There's one called the Viola section, and you talk about how it kind of gets lost amongst all the other musicians, and some people don't even pay attention to them. And you call them the deep velvet heart of the orchestra. These are the things that it's like you bring so much more life to watching a performance when you read these in context with who you are and what you've done and everyone you've worked with. I do have to ask you, there's one called Guitar. Are you the little girl?
Yes.
I thought so.
Yes. And my friend said, you sure you want to include that piece? It's so personal. It tells us something about how shy you were and how maybe lonely you felt as a child. And I said, but it's part of why I love music, so I do want to include it. And,
of course.
And a couple of people said to me, I was just like you, and made me feel good that you found a way through music to open up a world.
And I knew that the classical guitar was your first love. So when I read that, I'm thinking, it's got to be JoAnn. I have to ask her that question. So thank you for that. Again, I don't want to give anything away, but there are so many cool things in this book. Concerto.
Well, some of them are kind of funny, I think, but this is real backstage stuff sometimes.
Yes, exactly. Like overweight, inebriated boxers. We swung at each other. Roundhouses rarely connecting. And then at the end, it jumps to the audience erupted in frenzied cheers. We embrace. He loves me. I love him. We walk off stage arm in arm. We can't wait to do it again tomorrow. And the beginning of it talks about the struggle to get together, to find that synergy. And then when you discover that synergy, it's all wonderful.
Well, it is. And you know what? I mean, that tells people a little bit about even the most seasoned performers are very nervous before they play. They're backstage. They're worried. They're doubting themselves. This happens all the time. And we go out on stage, and within a few notes on that piano, they are in the zone. But they're human, too. I mean, there's a lot of butterflies backstage.
Right. And in fact, because this is a mental health podcast, let's take a little bit more out of that poem called Concerto. It starts out by saying, the soloist was looking distinctly unwell, glistening in a sheen of perspiration. He gasped at me. I don't know why we do this, JoAnn. I don't know why either, you said. So, like you said, the most seasoned professional has that butterfly or that nervousness, that anxiety. And based on what you read from this, once the music starts playing, all of that goes away.
Right. And at the end, there's such great joy. So the person says, okay, I'm going to do this again. And the same cycle. Now, of course, some people have that anxiety more than others. But being in the middle of music seems to take it away. And that's a beautiful thing. And I've seen that with people, who, well, I see it before I start the concert, I'm looking at the audience. Mm-hmm. And you could tell that some people are, I don't know, thinking of some worry,
or they just came from a long day at work.
Exactly. They're tired, and they're even thinking, gee, maybe I shouldn't have come tonight. I could have worked on that paper, and okay, I'm here. But you can tell that they're not relaxed. They're not at peace somehow. Then, of course, I turn my back to them. We play a long piece of music. I turn around, the intermission, and we're bowing. And I see the look on those faces. It's as if they were airbrushed somehow, like the worry has gone away. And they didn't try to do that. The music just took them someplace.
And it's instead of being inebriated with alcohol,
Yeah.
you're high on the music.
You really are.
And the
You
joie de
really
vivre of what that brings. And what I didn't realize until I read your book, it does the same thing to the musicians and
Absolutely.
and to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I had a person in the orchestra had a lot of trouble, a lot of health problems, and she said to me, JoAnn, the only time I am happy is when I'm on this stage. Because of the music. When she played her violin, she felt happy. And then she went out to all the problems in her life, but that was her sanctuary.
I love that. I think that is so perfect to
The
be able
idea
to
of
show,
sanctuary.
the idea that you get to see, even you being here and talking about it, right? Us getting to see that there's two different sides of it, right?
Yes,
There's the audience who is sitting there going through whatever they're going through, anticipating,
Yes,
right,
yeah,
for the music
absolutely.
to start, but also still experiencing tiredness. Life just
Right,
got through doing things, could have stayed home.
Right.
But then you're also shedding light to your side, which is the musicians and their anxiousness and their anxiety and all of the things that they struggle and go through as well.
That's right. There is a lot of anxiety, and when you think about the composers who are writing, Mozart is writing his most glorious, kind of magical work when he's dying. You know, he's dying. He's completely impoverished. He has 2 months to live, and he's writing music that glows with joy. How can you explain that? You know, we also give concerts in the morning, which I love especially.
Oh, sure, because it's free coffee and donuts.
Free coffee and donuts, right. And that's fine, and people love that, and they have, friendly conversations with everyone. But, there they leave the hall at 12:30, and they've just had the dose of, some feel-good experience.
Yeah.
And they say it carries them for the rest of the day, and the musicians and I as well. We leave that hall smiling, feeling, okay, something is right in this world. We have music.
Yeah. And the other thing I got from the book is the instrument is part of the person, the musician. I mean,
Yes.
if someone who studies and has a passion for music and plays as well as they do, it's not just playing an inanimate object. It's something that becomes a part
Right.
of them. It's got to be.
And they think of themselves as a violinist first. It's who they are.
Right.
It's who they
Yeah.
become, because most of these musicians have been playing their instruments since they were really, really young, every day, trying to get better every day. It's an extraordinary team.
Yeah.
Do you feel you're missing something when you're not holding a baton? Like, you're here without a baton. Do you?
No, because you're making me so happy talking about music. And you too. I mean, I can tell you're smiling. So you're reminiscing about experiences you've had
Yes,
where
yes.
you simply felt good.
Too early to ask this question? Are you going to write another book, another poetry book?
I
or-
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is like 30 years of these experiences, and I still have them, of course. And so maybe so. I don't know.
Did you enjoy the process of writing?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, because they helped me crystallize what was so special about that person or that piece or that audience or that time in my life. I mean, even the sad times in my life, losing my parents, writing a poem about it helped me.
You are such a great storyteller. And again, to add to your list of other accomplishments, you are a radio host on WNED. I go out of my way to listen to JoAnn's Classical Corner with Mark Schwartz.
Well,
He's-
Mark he is so great.
He's
He
got
is so
such a great voice. Just love listening to
Yes,
him.
and he's such a sense of humor. I mean, it's funny to just be with him talking about these little vignettes about music.
Yeah, and you're a regular guest on Sirius XM Symphony Hall.
Yes,
Who's
yes.
the gentleman that hosts that?
Martin Goldsmith.
Yes.
Yes. He's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We could talk all day. It's such a joy to be
Mulaney,
with you.
thank you, Bob. Thank you. It's great to be with you. Thank you for inviting me back. It's great to see you, and you are always welcome. And I know I see you there at the concert hall.
Well, again, JoAnn Falletta, music director, everything else, Grammy Award winner. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Well, it's
Thank
my
you so
great
much.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, JoAnn.
And we will be back. Welcome back to Spectrum Health's Journey. Bob Stahura, along with Melanie White.
Hello.
And James Peterson, who is with Spectrum Health, and you are a wellness specialist. Pete, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
You told me that you like to be called Pete, which people are wondering, why is he calling him Pete? But that's what you told me.
Well, that's correct.
And what is a wellness specialist?
A wellness specialist is an employee who is out in the community doing community outreach, trying to inform the public and community on wellness issues, how to stay healthy, talk about things, conditions and factors that will affect your health.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, we've been working as a wellness specialist for 1 year.
Well, it's great to have you on the podcast.
Well, thank you very much.
Melanie, I know I shouldn't mention this, but Pete is your supervisor?
Yes.
So is that why you're being so quiet right now?
Yes.
Come on.
I know how to act in front of him.
Let it out.
Hi, Mr. Peterson.
Good morning,
Mr. Peterson and I do work together. Actually, we worked together for some time now. We both worked at a company a long time ago in this field, in the healthcare field. So this has been quite a journey for us.
Yes, it has.
And we're thinking about the seasonal affective disorder, right?
Well, SAD is a seasonal condition that I probably see more frequently now than I did early on, because it affects mostly, to a greater degree, senior citizens versus the youth. Young people are not as affected as much about the changes of weather and the conditions that the cold weather and winter brings along.
And I'll interrupt you because for me, I would probably consider myself a senior citizen. I'll be 65 this month.
Yes.
But I have been experiencing the seasonal affect disorder for years, even probably as early as my 30s. And does it affect everyone, or are some people immune to it?
Yeah, it can affect everyone, but when you start getting close to the age of 50 and above, the seasonal change, the sunlight, the activities that you generally participate decreases.
Right.
Yeah.
Then when you also have apprehension about movement and mobility during the winter changes, because now your ability to respond to things, slipping, falling, being out in the cold, being out on ice.
See, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about the lack of activity. For me, it's more of when it gets darker. And you and I, before we started recording, talked about the time change. And that always, when it gets dark at 4:30,
shorter days.
Yeah.
Less light.
Right.
Right. SAD, just to be clear, some of the conversation is what is the difference between SAD, just general sadness, and SAD, right? And so just recognizing that there is a severity which makes the difference. And so severity being something where you're sad, that's a temporary thing. Whereas seasonal affect disorder, this is a real diagnosis. I think it's several things. So there's fall and winter, but there's also spring and summer. It can fall alongside both areas, right?
Sure,
and so the thought is like, right. So when we say seasonal, I know the first thing a person thinks is, okay, winter blues, right? Because everybody gets like sad and depressed because we're talking about snow. We're talking about it's being cold and it's dark and there's less sun. And yes, but then during the summertime, people struggle also because it's too hot, right? They struggle because there are social norms that people have a hard time with. Like sometimes people have an issue with having too many things to do. When you tell a person, okay, I want you to go out and we got to do this and we have this going on, that causes so much stress for a person.
Too much stuff.
Yeah, it really does. Pressure to socialize.
And then there's the people that it has nothing to do with seasonal affective disorder. It's just people are never happy regardless. It's too hot in the summer. It's too cold in the winter. They're never happy.
So now the problem becomes, again, even with the severity of that, right, is that you're just stressed out or sad because it's too warm and you're stressed out or sad, or does this become isolating?
Yeah. Mr. P, I want your take on this because I do want to know your definition of the difference between SAD, the disorder, and just general sadness because of the season and the darkness and whatever it is.
Well, just because it's the winter brings by some physiological changes. Because there are two chemicals that our bodies make during the winter, and because there's a lack of sunshine, which is the vitamin D that we get, especially in the western New York areas, places where there's always a lot of snow and cloudiness. So now we have a deficiency of vitamin D, so that automatically kind of draws down our energy and our motivation for things. And then that opens up the door for depression and sadness, and it makes a combination of the season, as well as become isolated, and then that also compounds your depression and stuff.
Chemical change in the brain. Huh?
Yes, yes. So if there's some type of medication or vitamin supplements that a doctor will prescribe, we can begin to take those so that we won't have that deficiency during the winter season.
Oh, yeah. I take vitamin D just for that reason.
I take it for sure.
Right. So what is the hope as a wellness expert provide? What hope does Spectrum Health provide for this time of year?
We want to talk to individuals this time of year about adopting hobbies, having things that they like to do or can enjoy doing to reduce the amount of time that we would be being isolated and withdrawing socially from our friends and people and things. If we develop a hobby and things that we want to do, we can replace that with downtime. Also, we want to make you aware of what I just indicated about the vitamin D, so that we can remain healthy and be motivated during the winter season.
Yeah.
No, I think that's very important, as well as if it does become severe, knowing that there are medications, there are other ways to help, there are other tips.
And there are nutritional things as well. Your diet is very important as well, because there are things that you can eat, especially during seasonal times, like we want to eat things now for Thanksgiving and Christmas, those meals.
Right.
Those meals are good, but sometimes they are coated with a lot of kinds of substances that was not good for us. You know, the gravies and the sweets and those kind of things.
So are you saying I can't have that for Thanksgiving?
Well, you have to eat it in moderation and be careful about, what the rest of your body is doing. So you have to be careful about it.
Right. James Peterson, Mr. P. Pete,
Peterson.
It's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the invite, and thank you for the opportunity to participate, and once again to put Buffalo Hope out there so individuals can reach out to us.
Very good. All right, and if there's someone out there that would like to ask a question of any of our guests or Mulaney or myself, you can simply email us at podcast@shswny.org. That's podcast@shswny.org. Thank you very much, and we will be back.
The lamp is burning low upon my tabletop. The snow is softly falling. The air is still within the silence of my room. I hear your voice softly calling. If I could only have you near to breathe a sigh or two, I would be happy just to hold the hands I love, to be once again with you. To be once again with you.
And we are back with our favorite segment. It is the Hope segment here on Spectrum Health's Journey. Joining us for this segment, along with the lovely Mulaney White, is our lovely executive producer, Sherry Mazur. Sherry, welcome.
Welcome.
'Tis the season, people.
We are here to end the year with hope and talk a little bit about what we've done this past year.
This has been a great year for our podcast. You know, the segment that we're recording today, I believe, is episode 32.
Wow.
So
Nice.
that's a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
just in 2025 alone, my friends, we have welcomed participation from 16 different agencies outside of Spectrum Health. And we've talked about things that help people feel better about themselves. We've talked about youth, when we had Terry Say here from the Prenatal Network. His story was amazing. He talked about how he went into that agency needing support himself for being a dad. And now he's a program manager there, mentoring other people and helping them with their skills. I mean, when you look at the body of work we have in Western New York and how we were able to help put a spotlight on some of these. I mean, we talked about kids escaping drugs with Joni Altman a few months ago. And we're beginning the year and ending the year with a conversation with JoAnn Falletta. I mean, how good does that get?
I know. I didn't realize that her interview was last January. So yeah, we started and ended. That's really cool. Really cool.
It was really nice to see her again.
A great bookend to our year.
Speaking of bookends, the reason she was here was to talk about her book, and it's a wonderful book, as you know.
It's beautiful. I went through it the second time last night. The night that I bought it, a few weeks ago at a concert, I couldn't put it down because I love reading poetry. And poetry is one of those things that you can pick up and put down, and different things will strike you depending on where you're at. It's going to strike your headspace differently depending on where you are in your life. And that's what I love about reading poetry anthologies. And it's just, her words are so beautiful. And, she's writing about her personal reflections, and then she's also writing about her reflections on some of the works that they perform. And, she starts off the book with a poem called We Listen to Music. And she gives different reasons about why we tune into music and why it's so important. And she closes with, we listen to music to dare to believe in God. I mean, she just takes such an interesting approach to how people react to music. And this, her segment back in January was about the power of music to uplift and raise spirits. And she had that great quote about how she can look out and she can see people with their shoulders all tensed up around their ears. And then by the end of the night, they look relaxed. And that's the power of just going to hear live music.
Right.
But we did some great things together this year, my friends.
We sure have.
We had some fun, and we had a lot of great laughs too. But more importantly, we connected with a lot of people in our community and spread some really positive messages.
And our goal is to take away the stigma, and I think we do it here. We talk about everything and anything, and I hope that people who are listening say, you know what, it's okay to go through this stuff because we're all going through this stuff. The hosts of the podcast go through this stuff. Everybody goes through this stuff, and we're in it together. So that's our goal here.
Yeah, hopefully we're able to help people make the connection, and recognize as they're listening, here's some of the tips and here's some of the ways to help themselves throughout the year. And even when she was talking about the music, JoAnn was able to help us kind of really see how they feel as they're playing the instruments, as well as how the audience is feeling on the outside.
Yeah, it was kind of like a secret inside look that nobody gets to chance.
I love the way she pulled it all in.
Yeah, it triggers a lot of different emotions.
Yeah.
Speaking about the power of music, one thing we can talk about that's coming soon to our Spotify platform. So if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, we have a listening platform now too. We are building a series of playlists developed by mostly our clinicians and then some other folks at the agency too who love music. So if you want to hear some of Mulaney's best picks for gospel tunes that she loves. Or Dan Galvin put together a great playlist. He began with us as a peer, and now he's moved along to being an administrator for our clinic sites. I even threw my 2 cents in there with the music that totally moves me. I hope, Bob, as our co-host here, you will also put together a playlist.
I was just about to say that I don't think I got invited to this party, but you just invited me, so I'm in. Deal me in.
I did. Carly from our HR department, she's one of our recruiters who goes out and finds our new team members. But she's also someone who loves music. She's a line dancer. Who knew? And she put together a really cool list of music that just kind of puts a little tap in her toes. So coming soon to our Spotify platform, look for Spectrum Health Listens.
That's excellent. We can all look forward to that, and I'm very excited about that as well. So we're nearing the end of this episode, and one thing we haven't even really talked about is the holidays. And here we are, December.
Yeah.
And even, Sherry, your notes, talk about with the celebration, it often comes with stress and pressure to buy the perfect gift, to be the perfect host, organize all kinds of holiday things, decorations, all that. So what can we do to lessen the pressure and the stress during the holidays and let it be what it's supposed to be, and that is an enjoyable, restful, if that's even possible in this culture, to do?
Wow, just all that you said just made me look at control. That's a big part of where that stress comes from, is because everything we want to be able to control each little piece of it. Even though the day is here, we have the food, everyone is coming, but then there's the structure of the day. What's going to be cooked? What's not going to be cooked? What don't I have? Who's not here, right? So I think it really comes, and we can all kind of identify what we think, but I think loving on self, giving self a little homage to be able to say, it's okay. Nothing has to be 100%, and if we give ourselves that little piece, then afterwards we'll be able to look and say, this went perfect, no matter, it didn't matter.
Right. And, it's kind of like a live TV show. When it's done, it's like whatever you got done, you got done. What didn't get done, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I would hope that I can just say with confidence that if you don't get everything done, it's okay. Try to enjoy the process. Okay. And if you don't get everything done, enjoy the family, enjoy the food, enjoy the music of the holidays, and come back to listen to us again next year.
Don't miss the important pieces, right?
Ladies, thank you. This has been a wonderful year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, everything that December and January brings. And remember, no matter what you're going through, reach out to someone. You're not alone. We are all in this together. Never give up. Yeah. You are so worth it.
This has been Spectrum Health Journey, presented by Spectrum Health and Human Services. If you need immediate help, call Spectrum Health's 24/7 emergency line, 716-710-5172. That's 716-710-5172. Until next time, never give up the fight. You are worth it.